you ever wondered why there are times in your life where you felt completely unstoppable, limitless, and other times where nothing was working out? Times where you believed that luck was completely on your side, and others when you were convinced that you were cursed. What if I told you that both times you were right, and your entire reality is based on your mindset and your belief system? You can be limitless, fearless, or limited finite. It is completely up to you. My name is Arthur Smolarkovich, and I want to thank you for joining me today and listening about my message of Limitless Mindset. Why do I think I can help you? Well, it's because I've created a methodology that can help one improve their mindset and become what I call limitless. It has to do with my past, which was very diverse, almost dichotomous. I want to start with sharing my story. As a kid of 10, I was an immigrant that came to Canada. At the time, I wanted to be like all the other children, but because I came from a different country, I believed that I was different. It was difficult growing up. Kids were bullying me. I felt sometimes like I was being isolated, that I was getting picked on. I'm sure that most of us have gone through that. But at the time, I've decided that I am not confident just because I believe I am different, and because of that, I want to be like everybody else. I actually want to be better than everybody else. I want to be the best. So at the time, it started with getting really good grades. So I was a straight A student, which was followed up with receiving 5 different scholarships to different universities. I entered university, but after the first year, I've decided that I wanted to pursue different things because I wasn't very athletic when I was in high school, and I wanted to be the best at that. So I decided to be a super athlete. I was already familiar with martial arts, so I started concentrating on karate. So let's go through and fast forward 10 years. Now I have my own martial arts school. I'm a 4th degree black belt. I have over 600 students. I have a great reputation with one of the best dojos around the place, and people love my fitness programs. I've competed at the world level. I've won many awards. I've created world champions. I've competed at bodybuilding competitions because I also wanted to prove to myself that I could do that. Won some of those. I had photo shoots. There were times where I looked like a fitness model. And at that time I said, well, that's not enough because I want to see if I can be within the corporate world. So after all that, I went back to school. And even though I was a university dropout, now with a new belief system and with a new goal, I get my MBA in business. And then obviously with straight A's, because that's the way it has to be. It has to be the best. Followed up with a CMA CPA designation. And then I've decided that I wanted to work for one of the biggest companies in the world within the finance space. So I interviewed at a lot of different places. A lot of people told me it's very difficult to get into one in 2008 because that's when the market crashed. But however, of course, after a lot of trying and a lot of interviews, I got into KPMG, which is a Fortune 500 Fortune 500 company, one of the biggest ones in the world in that space. So once I get in, of course, I have to be the best again. So after a few years, I become one of their top performers. Now I could keep going and going and going. At that time, I've realized something. I've realized one thing, that all of the things that I have accomplished were not due to my education. They were not due to the things that I have learned in the corporate world. It had to do with the mindset. So if I believed in something, it would happen. If I disbelieved, it would not happen. So I started exploring the area of personal development. Also, I've realized that no matter what, no matter how many competitions I've won, no matter how many awards I received, no matter how much successful I was, the skeletons of the past were not erased. There were still times where I felt doubt, I was anxious, I was stressed, and even though I was accomplishing more and more, I did not feel any better. So, how many of you honestly have not felt similarly? Felt like they were bullied, felt like they were isolated, felt like they were picked on, and we, over the years, we know that that does not define us. However, we have no idea the kind of profound effect this could have on the way we're going to move forward in our life, how we form relationships, how we pick people to enter our life, our career path, and pretty much everything within our world and within our reality. This message is a synopsis. It is the synthesis of my program, which I've developed in order to abolish all of my limitations and become completely limitless. I have used this methodology already to coach others, and they're on their journey to abolish their limitations, and they're becoming what I call limitless. And now I want to share this message with everyone I know, and honestly with the rest of the world, because I completely understand what it feels like to live in a world of limits. And I don't want people to feel that they cannot succeed, that they cannot hit certain goals, that they cannot become what they want to be, that they live in anxiety, that they are living depressed, and that they're unhappy, and that is their reality. We need to be happy, we need to be limitless, because life is absolutely wonderful. My methodology is based on few principles with empirical evidence. It is followed by 3 rules and 10 proposed traits which I believe should be adopted as personal credos and created into habits to get this limitless mindset. Now, principle number 1 is your belief and paradigms form your reality. There is a reason why you see Copernicus behind me. The reason why I use Copernicus is because he was the first man who provided an educated notion that it is actually Earth that goes around the sun and not the other way around. Now, while doing one of my talks, one of the people corrected me and said it was actually the ancient Greeks before Copernicus. I'm not a historian, but I believe that the educational belief is that Copernicus was the first person, or perhaps not. What I'm trying to show here is the fact that, again, see, different beliefs, is that Copernicus was a person who got rid of the whole notion that the Earth was the center of the universe, and at that time, that became the reality for many others. Now think about limiting beliefs, and if we lived in a world where people believe that the world is flat, the way we would travel would be completely different. We would be not able to travel the way we travel today with that simple belief. Our reality would be different. Think about a belief where people would believe that we lived in a world where people believe that there is flight for human beings is impossible. Again, our reality would be completely different. Or something even a little bit more current. Think of a world where people believe that computers are only meant to send somebody to the moon or be used in very complex organizations. They're massive machines, and it doesn't make any sense that they should be used at home. And believe it or not, that was the belief and that was the reality at one point. And there was few people, particularly one person, Steve Jobs, who decided that he had a different level of belief. He believed that computers should be used by everyone, and he created a different reality for himself, and then he created a different reality for all of us, right? So, to make it even more simple, if this is confusing you a bit, think of your belief system. Think that you believe that the world is bad or the world is good. Now, dependent on your belief system, the way you're going to be interacting with people, the way you're going to be investing, your level of risk aversion, your level of comfort within the world is going to be a completely different reality if you believe the world is good or if you believe the world is bad. So with that belief, you will formulate your entire reality. This is why it's so important that we are careful in forming our belief systems. So how do we create beliefs? How do we create mental models? Well, principle number 2 explained that. Perception forms beliefs and paradigms, again, meaning mental models. Therefore, the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through our senses, perception, allows the entry of information which can be processed and eventually create our belief and mental models. Now, if you look to behind me and you see this object, right? And I was just about to say number, right? But if I said if you see this object, when you first looked at it, did you see 6? Did you see a 9? Or perhaps you saw 6 and a 9, depending, again, on how your brain, your belief system, the way you learned things allowed you to see that object. For those who never learned math in the Western way and their numbers were taught slightly differently, this just could be squiggly lines, right? Which is again based on our past and on our beliefs and our mental models. And here's the paradox. Through our perception, we receive information and we create our reality. However, that reality is based on our belief system and our mental models. So, as we get older, those beliefs and mental models are affecting the way our perceived information is being processed. Now, if that's confusing you, I'm going to just take one step back and go even simpler. When you're a child and you don't have any preconceived notions, if you don't have any judgments about anything that's happening in your life, you're perceiving, you're receiving information, and you're taking it in as it is. But as we get older, we would take a similar information in, but due to the fact that we already have certain belief system and certain mental models built into our system, we are going to take that information in as in we're going to perceive it, but then we are going to process it very differently, okay? And again, it is our belief system that forms our reality, and our perception creates our belief, but then those beliefs actually start affecting the way we perceive things. Now, my theory on this is, therefore, once reality is truly a construct, and it always needs to be questioned. Think about statements like Friday the 13th. That is a scary day. Some people that don't understand, I would say, why is that? Or don't open the umbrella inside of the house. That's bad luck. Is it really? Or don't break that mirror. That's 7 years of bad luck. Oh, watch out. A black cat just crossed the road right in front of you, right? Like, some of these things are almost laughable, right? Okay, I'm in trouble, but you know what? Like, I'm going to help myself. I'm going to knock on wood, right? All of that, again, our belief system, all of these are just based on the way we were raised. It is based on our past. It is based on our belief and our mental models. And those things would mean something completely different to somebody else, and they're going to mean something completely different to you. So what is one factor that can actually impact our beliefs or our mental models? And that is knowledge and information. So principle number 3 is knowledge, information impacts our beliefs and paradigms. I want to talk about Christopher Columbus. So Christopher Columbus knew that the earth was round, and because of that, he figured that he could go from Europe all the way around and he should be hitting India. And that was his level of knowledge about the earth being round. His other level of knowledge was that he didn't know that North America existed. And because of that, he hit North America. His belief was that he was in India, and then there was an entire Aboriginal group in North America called Indians, which was completely wrong. And a lot of times, we as human beings make mistakes because there's areas that we just don't know, that we don't even know. So taking this model and looking at knowledge, we can look at knowledge in three different levels. There's the things that I know. I know I'm 185 pounds. I know that I speak English. Some people say not very well. I think I'm doing all right. Okay, now that was actually a joke. Okay, in this next level, we have the I know, which I don't know. So I know that there is a country in the world called China, and there is a language called Chinese, and I know that I don't speak Chinese. Okay? Even farther, I know that there is different dialects like Mandarin and so on and so forth, right? We know about that. I know that I cannot speak any of them, right? I know that there is this field called rocket science, but I'm not a rocket scientist, therefore I don't know rocket science. But there is a vast area of things that I don't know, which I don't know. It's like, at one point, people did not know that the universe existed, so the reality was completely different. Not only did they not know that it existed, like there's also the fact that it's ever expanding. All of that was not known. So we did not know, we didn't know. And as human beings, our limitations, our mental limitations, frequently lie in the area of I don't know, which I don't know. We act a certain way, we react a certain way, and frequently this stems from an area of I don't know, which I don't know. With this, I'm going to wrap this up. The following video is actually going to explore the area of I don't know, which I don't know. We're going to be talking about things like time distortion, how perception distorts our reality. Then we're going to go through the 3 different rules which everybody, I believe, should adopt, and the 10 habits that they should be forming. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that I can get some feedback from you. If there's something that you don't understand and you want me to elaborate on, I would be happy to do that. If there's something that you disagree with, please write me and let me know. And if there's one thing that you can do, please share this with anybody that could benefit from this. I know this knowledge, and there's more to come, has helped me a great deal, and I know this is going to help a lot of other people out there who felt the same way as I did. And I want everybody to feel limitless, and believe me, sharing is caring. So share this information. So again, thank you very much. I'm extremely happy that you actually joined me and listened to this entire video. Tune in, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and look for other videos on Limitless Mindset.